All right, now let's go ahead and style our custom theme. And let me tell you what a theme is. So if we go to the next page, styling the action bar, there's a link for style and theme resources. And basically, a style is a collection of properties that define how a view looks and feels. So look and format of a view or window. Remember, a view is any user interface element. And then a collection of styles that's applied to an entire application or an entire activity is a theme. So if you look at the definition for, let's see, where is this? So down near the bottom, there's a list of Android styles and a list of Android themes. So look at styles. So this is actual XML. And you'll see there's a lot of different styles defined and a lot of different items under each style and can be overridden by you in your XML code. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by basing our theme on an existing theme. Basically, when you do that, all of these styles are inherited by your new theme. And then we're going to override certain properties of the theme with our own stuff. Now, I think that there's really no way to memorize all of these. I don't think you'd want to. Basically, what you're usually going to do is you'll be wanting to get a particular effect, and then you're going to want to look up what properties of a style are actually going to affect that and work from there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set the background of our action bar. And we've already created a style for the action bar, which is this custom theme here. And now what we're going to do is basically two things. So first we're going to change the style for the action bar on our custom theme, and then we're going to define a new style for my action bar that inherits all of its properties from we're actually going to use this one, compat, from widget.compat.light.actionbar.solid.inverse. So we're going to start out with a copy of this basically, and we're just going to override the Android background or the background. Now the difference here, the only difference between this and this is Android : and that's because that after version 11, you can say Android : background because background lives in the Android namespace. But for use with the software compatibility library, background is actually going to be in the app namespace. So this is the one you would use for compatibility with the version 7 library. Now, the reason they have both of them here is so that if you change the minimum SDK requirement for your app to compile for a later version of the library, you don't want to have to rewrite all this code. If you put both of these in here, one of them will work and the other will basically be ignored. And then if you change the minimum SDK later on, this one will work and this one will be ignored. So let's go ahead and copy these two. Actually, what we're going to do is go ahead and copy this and add this to our custom theme. And then we're also going to create a new style called My Action Bar. And we'll paste that in as well. Now you'll see this one has a red curly under it. That's because it requires API level 11, and we're currently compiling for level 10. So in level 10, this is going to be an app action bar style. But now everything is an app. So this is optional, and it still works. So now if you're targeting version 10, this is green and this is red. If we go over to our build.gradle for the module, and we change the minimum SDK version to 11, now if we go back I was hoping it would catch up, but let me go ahead and build it. Okay, so now you see that the curly went away when I compiled after changing the min SDK to 11. Now this is working fine. And this is still app action bar style, but this is basically going to be ignored. So if I go back to my Gradle, change this back to 10, go to styles, and then rebuild. Now this is curly again, right? So this works for version 11 or greater, does not work for version 10. This works for version 10 and is ignored for version 11 or greater. So this is, by including both of these, I now have support for basically most of the minimum SDK levels I could set. So same thing here, this Android : background versus background is exactly the same situation. Now this is referring to a drawable called action bar background, and so we need to create a drawable for that. And I'm going to go ahead, the way that the background is going to work is any image you give it is going to be scaled to fit the whole action bar. So what I'm going to do for my rainbow is just create a 7 pixel high by 1 pixel wide image that will be stretched and scaled to fit the entire action bar. And I'm going to go red, pencil, yeah, red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, more or less, blue, and violet. And then I'm going to save this as whatever that name was over here, this action bar under background. And copy that. And save it. So now that's in Drawable as well. And these turn black because now the resource is defined. So this should be all I have to do to change the background for the button bar in my custom theme. Let's go ahead and see if it worked or not. Okay, so we'll try Nexus 7 first. Ooh, that's really ugly. But it worked. That's the important part. And now we'll try it with Nexus 1. And that worked as well. So basically that's all there is to changing the background. Now, I just used a simple rainbow background, but you could have a solid fill color, a gradient effect, or you could actually have a full image going across if you wanted to have some sort of watermark or whatever kind of effect you wanted. You could control that entirely just by changing the background image. Now, another thing we might want to do is customize the text color. So if I go back and run my app again, that's action bar 2. And you'll notice this is white text on a rainbow. Maybe I might think that I want to have black text here instead to make it stand out more. So let's go ahead and change the color of that text to black. And once again, we're going to do the same kind of thing. We're going to start with a base style or base theme, and then we're going to override certain properties of that theme and redefine them. So for 2.1 or higher, once again, you have basically two copies of the same code, one in the Android namespace and one in the app namespace. And I'm going to go ahead and copy all of these. And I'm going to add them to my custom theme. Actually, let me go ahead and move this one down here so that I have all my compatibility library ones together and all my non-compatibility libraries together. So now I want a tab text and an action bar text. Tab text, action bar text. So the action bar tab text style is here. So basically the action bar style is my action bar. And I already have a my action bar, so I want to add these items to that one. And once again, I'm going to juggle this code around a little bit. So what this action bar style does is starts with solid inverse, overrides the background image, and also sets the title text style to be my action bar title text. So my action bar title text style is here. And we're going to add this as a new style. And this defines the text appearance of the title to be, defines the text color to be a color resource named action bar text. So now we need to actually add this color resource as well. Color. And then you can either give it an already pre-named Android color, or you can just put a hex RGB value here. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'll say # for hex 00 red, 00 green, 00 blue. And then it shows me the color that is. If I change this to like FF, that's solid red, or FF00, FF is purple, but I'm just going to use black here. And then I'm going to add name equal action bar under text. So this now is linked to that. So my action bar has a title text style, which is my action bar title text. And then my action bar title text is the standard title plus text color black. And then here's the definition of the black. And if I go ahead and scroll up a little bit, I still need to define this my action bar tab text style. And let's go ahead and grab that. And this uses the same color action bar text that I've just declared over here. Now, tab text, we'll see that in the next video. That has to do with a different kind of activity. So let's go ahead and save that. I think that should be everything we need for now. So all of these little red squigglies, all these little errors, are all the backwards compatibility ones. We may have a problem with this one. No, we have action bar style All right, so I have two styles named action bar style apparently. Ah, action bar style, action bar style. Yes, so I do have two of them. All right, and then title text style is an extra, and everything else looks good. So let's go ahead and run it and see if our text is black now in the action bar. All right, so our resource entry custom theme has already has bag item Android action bar style. And that's originally defined here. Oh, I have this line twice. Okay, well, that's not necessary. All right, so now I only have it once. So let's run it on the Nexus 7. And we'll go to our custom theme, and the text for the title is now black. And let's run it on the Nexus 1 as well. And that's black too. So that works. Okay. Now let's go ahead and increase our min SDK again. So let's make it 11. And now we should still be able to compile the application, and it should still work. So I'm going to go ahead and make the project. Okay, so now all of our little error lights went away. So let's go ahead and run it. And I'll run on Android 7, or Nexus 7. Still works. And now if I try to run it on the Nexus 1, it will fail to install the app. You can actually see already. So under the compatibility column, it's got red and no because min SDK 11 is greater than the device SDK. Let's try it anyhow. And we get an app error, install failed older SDK. Set this back to 10. And make the project. Okay. So we've changed the text color, we've changed the background. Now we're going to talk about tab indicators in the next video, because that's going to require us to create a new app.